带回来的这小蛙嘛。
睡着了。They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating. Quick.
叫呀。 Dear my beloved audiences, today I want to tell you a story, which is called Riga's Rascal Rex. Rex wasn't your average Latvian hound. With his sleek, dark brown fur, long, floppy ears that seemed to have a life of their own, and a bark that sounded suspiciously like a surprised seagull, he was more of a clumsy charmer than a traditional hunting dog. He lived with the kind Kalnin's family in Riga, where the air hummed with the scent of cobblestones, the bustling old town, and endless adventures. Rex's main job, as he saw it, was to bring unexpected joy and accidental chaos to everyone he met. Part 1. The Case of the Vanishing Pierogi. Rex's day, much like the winding streets of Riga's old town, was full of unexpected turns. Today's turn began with the irresistible scent of freshly baked pierogi, savory, warm, and utterly irresistible. Vekmamina, Grandma, Kalnina, a beloved family elder with a warm smile and the fluffiest pierogi in all of Latvia, had just placed a towering basket of plump pastries on the kitchen counter to cool. Rex, his long nose twitching, knew his destiny lay with those golden brown treasures. He initiated his stealthy, scent trail approach, which involved a slow, almost slithering glide across the tiled kitchen floor, until he was practically a furry shadow under the counter. His tail, however, had a mind of its own and kept thumping a rhythmic thump-thump-thump against the cupboard doors, sending tiny vibrations through the quiet room. Suddenly, a playful gust of wind, a common occurrence from the open kitchen window, decided to join the fun. It swept through the kitchen, catching the light basket of pierogi just so. The towering pile of pastries, soft and inviting, took flight. They scattered across the polished floor like edible, brown frisbees, some even rolling with soft plops under nearby chairs. Rex watched in a mixture of horror and delight. His potential breakfast, scattered. This was a case of cosmic proportions, the case of the vanishing pierogi. He charged towards the scattered treats, barking joyful and slightly panicked. Orders at the kitchen chairs. Hold it right there, wooden suspects. The evidence must be consumed. Preserved. The chairs, unimpressed, remained still. Rex tried to gather them. He nudged them with his nose. He tried to scoop them with his paws. And he even attempted to herd the rolling ones with his nose. This resulted in him slipping on a squash pyrags, getting his sleek fur completely smeared with pastry crumbs, and emerging from the pierogi chaos looking like a very sticky, brown cloud. Vekmamina Kalnina, seeing the chaotic and delicious scene, threw back her head and laughed. She brought out another fresh batch of pierogi, much to Rex's relief. The mystery of the exploding pierogi remained unsolved, but Rex suspected the wind, or perhaps those overly curious crumbs under the chairs, were far more mischievous than they seemed. Part 2. The Great River Daugava Regatta Mix-Up. Rex had a deep admiration for the boats that sailed gracefully along the River Daugava, which flowed through the heart of Riga. He admired their speed, their elegant sails, and their ability to glide effortlessly on the water. He also believed he possessed a unique talent, regatta racing. He just hadn't quite perfected the having a boat part yet. One day, a small sailing regatta was taking place on the river. The colorful boats glided past the riverbank where Rex was taking his morning walk with Peterus, the Kalnin's son. Rex, seeing his chance to demonstrate his racing skills, decided to assist. He approached the riverbank cautiously, took a deep breath, and, in his best race commentator bark, let out a series of booming yips, punctuated by dramatic sneezes as the river mist tickled his nose. He believed he was conveying important instructions. Sailors, my dear, the finish line is ahead. Tack bravely, and perhaps share some Lego cheese later. The sailors, however, interpreted this as a very loud and intrusive attempt at conversation. They looked at the barking dog, then at each other, confused. Rex then tried to leap into the river, hoping to get a better view of the racecourse, but the water was too cold. He ended up jumping repeatedly at the edge, his short legs flailing in the air, looking like a furry, brown fountain. He tried to swim after a passing boat, but the current was too strong. He even attempted to bark commands at the wind, hoping it would push the boats faster, but the wind remained unresponsive. Finally, in desperation, he barked at the fish swimming near the bank, hoping they would join his crew. The fish, however, simply swam away, clearly indicating they were done with the racing advice. Pederus, seeing the one-sided race commentary, chuckled. "Rex," he said, patting the dog's wet head, "some boats prefer quiet sailing to loud coaching." Rex, still convinced the boats were just being stubborn, gave the disappearing regatta a suspicious glare. Part 3. The Oldtown Sleuth and the Tourist Treasure. Rex loved going with the Callan's family to explore Riga's charming Oldtown. He loved the ancient cobblestone streets, the colorful buildings, and the endless stream of tourists who often dropped small pieces of Rossini's gingerbread. One day, while exploring near the famous House of the Blackheads, Rex spotted a tourist looking very distressed. The tourist, a kind woman with a knitted scarf, seemed to have lost something important. This was the Oldtown sleuth's treasure hunt. Rex, putting on his most serious, eagle-eyed detective face, which mostly involved squinting his eyes until they disappeared in his fur, approached the woman. He sniffed her boots, her shopping bag, and then the dusty cobblestones around her. He picked up a faint scent of delicious spiced almonds. He followed the scent, his tail wagging with determined focus, weaving through crowds of shoppers and past quaint cafes. He barked at a passing pigeon, thinking it might be a suspicious character, and even tried to interrogate a silent, ancient clock tower, which, predictably, offered no clues. The scent led him to a small, charming amber jewelry shop, where he found a tiny, sparkly object. It was a silver bracelet, adorned with a small piece of amber, and it smelled faintly of spiced almonds. Rex, with a triumphant bark and a slightly squished ear from squeezing into the crowded shop, picked up the bracelet and trotted back to the distressed tourist. The woman's eyes lit up when she saw her bracelet. "Oh my goodness, my grandmother's bracelet. Thank you, thank you." She hugged Rex tightly and, as a reward, pulled out a small bag of spiced almonds. Rex's eyes widened. Almonds. This was the best reward a Riga sleuth could ask for. He devoured the almonds, his tail wagging furiously. He might not always understand humans, or boats, or even the wind, but he understood the universal language of a well-earned treat. And that, Rex knew, was the greatest mystery of all on the charming, funny streets of Riga. If you like this video, please leave a like and a subscribe. It will really help our channel grow. But if you don't like it, then just skip it and don't forget to check out our other videos. Thank you very much and goodbye.